Welcome to Three
Welcome to
Geeks. Welcome to the Three Geeks podcast. My name is Jay. I'm joined with Mike, Dan, and Max is somewhere. And we are here to talk about news. And our topic for tonight, which is very kind of controversial amongst, people, some people, digital or physical. What do you prefer? And we'll get into that in a little bit. You can join us live on Twitter. Just send us comments at 3geekspodcast, hashtag 3geekspodcast, and let us know what you're thinking. You can also check out Mike's YouTube channel at youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. Lots of cool stuff going on over there, so definitely check it out. You can also check out Mike on neverendingradicaldude.com. I know he just did some artwork for Ash vs. Evil Dead review, right, Mike? Pretty cool stuff. All right, guys, let's get into the topic at hand. And I'm going to start this off and kind of just say it because we've been accused of being communists in the past. If any of us have any negative feelings towards the new Ghostbusters film, it has nothing to do with the fact that it is a female cast. I think we're all fans of the cast of this film. I've seen other podcasts are doing the same, kind of warning at the beginning, just so people know that we're not into that whole hating the movie because it's a female cast. So let's just get that out of the way. The one thing I hate about this trailer, which I found the trailer very enjoyable, but my one gripe, my one concern is the first 20 seconds, it starts off saying 30 years ago, and then 4 scientists, shows the old Ghostbuster house. The thing that concerns me about this is, we all know because we're in this space, we read the news and we watch, other podcasts or whatever we do, but we know that it's not a sequel. But if you took, my parents who were fans of the original Ghostbusters, or maybe some other people that don't know what's going on, they're going to see this preview and think that it is a follow-up to the original series, and I kind of have a problem with that because you're selling something that's not there. You know what I mean? You're telling people that this... You're pulling at heartstrings, and you can't pay it off because, sure, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, maybe that there's going to be a twist. Maybe we'll find out that it is actually a sequel. But everything that they have told us up till now says hard reboot, which means all the original cast that is returning are not playing their original characters. So I don't know. Mike, your thoughts on the Ghostbusters trailer? The intro?
The intro part of it, I definitely kind of agree with you there, but I mean that's the nostalgia cash grab for them. First off, some inaccuracies right there. Let me just get my nerd glasses really quick. But technically it's not 30 years ago. It's technically 32 years ago, 1984 Ghostbusters. And then to go along with that, it wasn't 4 scientists. It was 3 scientists and 1 guy working on his PhDs and going back to work for his honorary degree. He was just there for freelance work, or he was just there for the paycheck. As Ernie Hudson so beautifully stated it, if there's a steady paycheck involved, I'll believe whatever you say. So... yeah, I'm a Ghostbusters fan. But yeah, the fact that it's a straight ahead reboot and not a continuation of the story they've established with the previous movies, it seems a little, I don't want to say sleazy, but it's typical Hollywood strategy there to be like, they love that one. If we mention that one, they're bound to love this one. So, yeah. Are we talking about anything else right now, or are we just focusing on this opening scrawl?
We'll stick to the intro right now because we'll get into the rest of it in a second. Dan, your thoughts, how does that, what do you think when you saw that intro?
I mean, it seems a bit disingenuous. However, I think it's funny that they don't show, the sewers or the evil painting from the second one. They want you to forget that, but they want you to remember the first one. But, I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to sell it the way you can sell it, and that's what they want to do.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the original Ghostbusters was more of a horror comedy, and it looks like with this one they're going more towards the comedy, getting into the rest of the trailer, which, the comedy, I didn't really laugh out loud, but I wasn't bored by the trailer. I thought it looks like it could be a lot of fun, and I was pleasantly surprised. I can't lie. I don't know what I expected with this. I like Melissa McCarthy. I like Kristen Wiig. I like everybody involved. Paul Feig. And so, yeah, I mean, the trailer looks fun. I kind of want to see it now. You know, putting the opening part of the trailer aside, I can't wait to see this movie. I can't lie. I'm looking forward to it. Mike?
Basically what you said before about like it's not a knock against the actresses at all because I like these actresses. I think they're funny people. I've seen them in funny stuff. And I mentioned this in my own kind of analysis of the trailer before is that Paul Feig directed movies. Their trailers have never really won me over with regards to the comedy, but when I actually watch the movie and sit down and see the whole thing, the comedy's there and it works. So I'm hoping that is the way it is with this movie, because nothing in the trailer made me laugh at all. Like, it wasn't even a fact of like, oh, I find that funny, but I just don't feel like laughing out loud. Like, none of the gags really landed for me at all on any level. I'm like, it's slapstick and stuff I'd seen before. And I'm not really going to knock so much on the ghost effects or anything like that because that's what studios are going to do. You're expecting them to go back to stop-motion animation, big dudes in prosthetic suits, and I'm sure this will factor into our discussion later on in the chat here. But, yeah, I'm not going to knock on the fact that they're going with all CGI, from what people have been saying in the comments, Scooby-Doo looking effects. But the comedy, I feel, is really essential. And I'm hoping it's there in the actual movie and that they just showed a lot of the really lame jokes in the trailer and are saving the good stuff for the actual release. Because I feel one thing that I'm got some trepidation about is regarding the actual characters. The thing about the original Ghostbusters characters was I went into those movies even at a young age knowing full well, like, Peter Venkman is an amalgamation of a character written for Bill Murray. Ray Stantz is a character written for Dan Aykroyd. Harold Ramis co-wrote Egon Spengler with him in mind, so it plays to their strengths. And I'm just hoping that this new script plays to the strengths of a Melissa McCarthy or a Kristen Wiig, and that they're characters that can kind of embody their already established personalities as comedians. Because as far as I saw in the trailer, if they're trying to become like original characters, there's not a lot to go on in that. So I'm hoping in the actual movie they're pretty well developed and have those quirks that you can kind of be like, ha, classic Kristen Wiig.
Dan?
Yeah, I laughed a couple times in the trailer. That said, I hope it's more towards like the horror comedy than like A Haunted House was. Because I kind of enjoyed those, but it's like dirty enjoyment. It's not happy enjoyment like Ghostbusters should be. So... Like when the safe falls on the dog in A Haunted House 2. I mean, that was arguably the best part of the movie, but it's not like high comedy. It's not something that you need like a great comic team to pull off. You just need a couple guys to drop a safe on a dog. So, you know. But I'll watch the movie. It looks cool, kind of. I'm more into it now than I was before the trailer. So, hey.
Thing that really surprises me about this film is if you go to YouTube, it's got 330,095 dislikes and 162,000 likes. Like, the trailer is not that bad. Like, I've seen worse trailers with a better like to dislike ratio.
The Point Break remake trailer has more likes than dislikes. How? Come on, people. Yeah. And that film was utter shite.
Yeah, but people like Ghostbusters. They don't necessarily like Point Break.
I don't know a lot of people that do. I've never seen Point Break, but I'm just saying, like, watching this trailer, it's not that bad. Like, it's not the worst thing that could have happened to the Ghostbusters, but if you look here, I can't believe the ratio. It's crazy.
People got nothing better to do. And hey, Max came back just in time.
Max, your thoughts on the Ghostbusters trailer?
I'm kind of whelmed by it. I did actually have one major problem with it. I feel like the joke when the one Ghostbuster is possessed and the other Ghostbuster is slapping the demon out of her. She's a black chick, so if she was gonna be slapping somebody, she'd be hitting on the syllables. Get out, you ghost! You'd be slapping the crap out of her. That would have been hysterical. But they literally pulled some punches on that one, and I feel like the joke sucked.
At that point, I just wanted to start beating her up like she was beating up DiCaprio on the Oscars bit.
Is that all you got, Max?
Yeah, that's all I got. I mean, it was whatever. Maybe another trailer. The special effects look kind of hokey to me. They don't I don't know what look they were going for, but I don't really like it. I want to say all the apparitions. So I don't know. I'm just whelmed. I'm neither over nor under. I'm just whelmed.
Oh, and if it's a little spoilerific because hey, Chris Hemsworth is clearly possessed by something. So way to spoil that for us, trailer.
All right, moving on
maybe Vigo.
Vigo makes a return, but it's looking like Sylvester Stallone has a role in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It is currently in the rumor phase of the internet news, but it's being reported by enough of legit sites that it's worth talking about. Sylvester Stallone in a Marvel movie. I don't know if the world's ready for that. I like Stallone, and man, the dude gave a hell of a performance in Creed, so I'm kind of curious where we could go from here. Well, let's see. Let's see what Stallone can do. Max, since you just joined us, I'm going to let you go first. What are your thoughts?
Wow. I'm honored. Stallone. The problem with Stallone is that unless he's in a Rocky movie, it's just like Stallone in something. So it kind of takes you out of whatever he's in because he's not a very good actor. So I mean, other than in Rocky movies, I mean, and even if you count them up, most of the Rocky movies are bad, and it's not good acting at all. They're just they're just the Rocky movies. So you get the first one, I mean Rocky Balboa, and then Creed, yes, that's 2.5 out of fucking 7. So yeah, I'm not too excited about Stallone, but I've been on I think a more positive upturn. So why not wish him the best and see what happens?
Dan?
I say paint him up like an alien and have him box.
You know what would be funny is if they go back to the collector's place and Stallone is just in one of the glass casings. Because, the movie is so 80s with the music and everything. That would be funny. Maybe he's just in a glass case hanging out with Howard the Duck. Mike, your thoughts?
I'm kind of hoping they go the route what they did with Nathan Fillion in the first Guardians, where he was just a CGI character that just happened to be portrayed by that actor, and that it's a cameo that can be kind of slipped by the audience that's really looking for, or someone mentioned earlier, Simon Pegg in The Force Awakens. It's only people who were in the know about the production knew that was Simon Pegg in that fat alien suit, but it made for a cool character at least without being distracting. Because the thing is yeah, you might have Kurt Russell in here playing possibly Star-Lord's dad. You might have a lot of big-name actors and stuff and celebrities, but Stallone is superstar celebrity, type of character. And like Max said, if it isn't in one of his own movies, like a Rocky or a Rambo or something like that, it's distracting.
Oh yeah, First Blood. Yeah, and I'll give you
yeah.
Blood.
I mean, well, that's the whole thing. Is like if it isn't in one of those properties that he's well known for and he's established kind of as like the beginning and end of that franchise, it's distracting to have him in there. And because I never call him Barney Ross when I watch an Expendables movie. I'm like, that's Stallone. Okay, but having him in a Marvel movie where a lot of the Marvel movies are very pop culture reference heavy, they may have mentioned Stallone maybe once or twice in an Iron Man quip. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if Rocky or Stallone have ever been referenced in a Marvel movie. That would be kind of weird.
Oh, dude, Stallone cracks open the multiverse. I'm down.
He just shows up as Judge Dredd. There you go.
Wait, is who did Judge Dredd? Dark Horse? Are they with any? Like, do they have him?
IDW.
Oh, IDW. Okay. No, they don't. They're not with anybody. But but who made the Dredd movie?
I don't even know.
His original one? That was like the original Dredd stuff. Wasn't that like from a DC?
Newer one.
The newer one? I can't remember the company that did it, but
Jason, are you on it?
I'm on it. I'm looking. Don't worry.
anyways, yeah. What I'm basically saying, if you're gonna put Stallone in it, make it brief, make it either really heavy prosthetics or CGI of some kind,
and voice modulation.
Yeah, to the point where it's not gonna be like, was that Stallone?
Daniel Craig in Star Wars.
Yeah, Daniel Craig in Star Wars, exactly. Unless you really, really looked hard for it, you wouldn't have known that was him trying his best at an American accent.
Dredd was directed by Pete Travis.
No, which company, like, is it like Fox or Warner Brothers that put the movie out? Like, who?
Jesus.
Oh my God, I own the movie. Why am I even...
There you go. Mike, look for us.
Lionsgate.
Lionsgate.
For the newest Dredd movie.
Yeah.
The old one, I'm not sure.
I don't know. They should flesh that out for sure. I liked the last Dredd movie. I'd like to see them get like a movie deal with Fox or somebody.
Yeah, just bring Carl Urban into Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, that's okay.
All right, moving on to a little bit of DC news. I'm just going to throw it all out there at once, and then we'll discuss on what you guys want to discuss. Henry Cavill says Superman will not be in Suicide Squad. I don't think any of us are surprised by that. But he will most likely make an appearance in Wonder Woman. Suicide Squad 2 has already been greenlit, at least that's the rumor, and it will not be directed by David Ayer because he has prior commitments, but he may be writing it, or maybe the other way around. Maybe he's not writing it and he might direct it. But that's what we got in DC news. So, Dan, what are your thoughts, buddy?
Why would Superman be in Suicide Squad? That doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, they're just all gritty, and he's just like Superman. I don't know.
Maybe one of them needs their neck snapped, and Superman can come in and take care of it.
He just comes in and kills them all at the end. Yeah, that's cool, I guess. I mean, you could just like keep your things separate until they're supposed to go together in a movie. I mean, you didn't see Superman in the old Batman movies. Whatever. And I'm not sold on Suicide Squad 1, so I'm going to wait until I even give a shit about Part 2.
Max?
What? Superman is going to be in Suicide Squad? This is crazy!
Ah!
Oh, I'm so very disappointed. Oh, God, my world was just wrecked. That's terrible. Oh, my goodness. I don't even know what to say right now. Superman's not going to be in Suicide Squad. I mean, might as well not even make the Suicide Squad movie. I don't even know why they greenlit a second one if Superman's not going to be in the first one.
Mike?
No, that's fucking whatever. Yeah, no one expected Superman to be in Suicide Squad, so why he would be in Suicide, like why? This is just more of them announcing some shit that doesn't need announced. We're like, we're no longer smoking. Superman's not going to be in Suicide Squad. You're like, yeah, I'm not going to be in this. Here, breaking news right now. I can guarantee you that Jason, Dan, Mike, nor I will be in Suicide Squad. Oh, just
Yeah.
drop a bomb. The internet's about to explode.
It would be easier to make us a list of things that are in Suicide Squad,
Max,
that aren't.
Max, I thought for sure you'd be in Suicide Squad. Well, with you being up there in Toronto all the time, taking those videos. And...
Yeah, I was on set the whole time, but I'm not in the movie. Idiots. You stupid idiots on the internet thinking I'm in the movie. Craziness. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about David Ayer not being back for writing or directing or whatever, because yeah, again, like Dan said, we haven't seen how he did the first time, so maybe he doesn't need to be a writer, or maybe he doesn't need to be the director. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. What other news was there? Superman isn't in Suicide Squad. Then
he might show up in Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, why not? If if they know each other, and after Dawn of Justice they will, so why wouldn't he show up like, hey, you need some help? No, cool, I'm up. Like, yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff. Is Henry Cavill just trying to like be relevant? Is he sort of like, hey, I'm here too, like I'm in the movie, I'm half of this thing. Like, hey guys.
That's what happens when you get interviewed and you don't have anything to talk about. You're just like, well, I could have been in that movie, but I'm not.
Yeah, speaking of Henry Cavill, did you see that video of Ben Affleck in the Batmobile?
No.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They were, giving people a tour of the set or whatever, and Ben Affleck was actually in the Batmobile, and he popped up. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Ben Affleck."
Mike?
I know in the San Diego Comic-Con trailer they referenced Superman, like saying the whole reason shit got crazy yet again is because Superman was like this beacon for crazy activity now. But yeah, I didn't expect him to show up. I had a feeling Batman would. Suicide Squad seems to be more in Batman's wheelhouse than a Superman thing. So yeah.
Oh no, I was on set. Batman was definitely filming some shots, so I took some pretty good video when it happened.
I know, I saw.
The
You should have been director of cinematography, man.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I gave him a few pointers. I talked to Ayer, he's cool.
Max Andrews for Suicide Squad 2 director job. Hashtag that. But yeah, so I wasn't expecting him in Suicide Squad. Sure, Wonder Woman, fine. Why not? Suicide Squad 2 rumors, sure, fine. They're banking on this stuff being really, really good, so it better be. For all this future rumor mill hype machine to keep going, these movies actually better be good.
Is it bad that I just kind of want somebody to like face plant? Like, I want Apocalypse. I want that movie to just suck, and no one goes see it. Like, I think it would just be hysterical. There's like, yeah, we're gearing up for the next thing, and they got all these plans. It's like, that movie fucking sucked, and no one wants to see your movies anymore. Like, it's like when someone hits bankrupt on Wheel of Fortune. It's like good stuff.
That was called Fantastic Four, and it came out last year, Max.
Yeah, no, but they're still going. See, like, they still have X-Men as their shining beacon of hope, but I think Apocalypse is going to suck just enough.
No, Deadpool's the new golden boy now, dude.
Yeah, but they weren't banking on that when they made the movie.
I think they were towards once the internet footage leaked, I think they kind of realized what they had.
No, no, because let the budget reflect how much faith they had in the movie.
No, Reynolds didn't want the budget to be that high because when the budgets get inflated, they lose control of the movie. But when you can keep the budget small,
exactly. No, but what I'm saying is when they're banking on a movie to have a great success, they put a lot of money into it. There's no Ryan Reynolds being like, I don't want a lot of money, and they're like, okay.
I think Ryan Reynolds is going to have some control over the X-Men universe moving forward, at least on the X-Force side of things. But if you're watching us live, please tweet at us at 3geekspodcast. Let us know what you think. Send in some questions, comments, concerns. We're doing something that you hate. Let us know. You want to cuss us out, whatever. Just send it over there on Twitter at 3geekspodcast. So my thoughts on all of this. it doesn't matter. DC doesn't have anything. I mean, I guess Wonder Woman is filming right now, right? So they've done Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman is filming now.
Justice League Part 1 began production too.
Yeah, but they haven't started filming yet, right? They
Yeah.
start filming in April.
But they got the wheel rolling, so.
I can tell you guys, everybody, this now. It's not going to happen, but knowing DC's track record with starting these universes and then pulling back, if Batman v Superman is a critical flop and an audience flop, you're going to watch Justice League get canceled real quick. But I don't think that's going to happen. But see, when you hear these things about Suicide Squad 2 coming from Warner Brothers and DC, you got to take it with a grain of salt because they haven't really been, you know what I mean, too faithful in keeping their stuff going no matter. Like, Marvel comes out with Iron Man 2. It didn't stop any of the other movies they had coming out. No, they kept going. Or Incredible Hulk didn't do financially well, but they kept going.
Like Iron Man 2 for some stupid reason.
But that's also Marvel. I mean, Marvel will just keep churning out shitty X-Men movies because they're freaking Marvel. DC has like one flop, they're like, oh god, and then everything, like they start throwing their shoes into the gears and everything stops. They're like, oh Jesus, no, start it again in 5 years.
I don't think Batman v Superman is going to flop by any stretch of the imagination. I firmly believe Ben Affleck is going to kill it as Batman.
Well,
what's that?
Even worst case scenario, let's say Batman v Superman does do that terribly. They've still got Ben Affleck locked in for 3 Batman movies to fix the problem. Like,
that's true. Because the way everyone's been saying, it's like that. What you were saying is right. That he is kind of the shining star of that whole thing, regardless of if it's good or bad. Everyone's saying like that's the highlight. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's the Deadpool.
Yeah. Yes.
You will see if Batman v Superman comes out and it does okay, but people are kind of, the critics or audience is kind of just not digging the movie or for whatever reason. You're gonna see that Justice League movie get pushed back, and you're gonna see a Batman solo film take that slot. I guarantee it. But we're just talking hypotheticals because there's no way Batman v Superman is going to flop.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's like critically, it could be a disaster. Definitely, critic-wise, it could totally be a train wreck. But you know what? Train wrecks are fun to look at. So money-wise, I'm sure it's gonna be fine because good scenario, it's a critical darling and everyone goes and sees it. Bad scenario, the critics just absolutely loathe it. Everyone's like, I gotta see this just to see how shitty this is. I'll definitely go watch it regardless. I went and saw Gods of Egypt today, and that thing's dog shit.
Oh,
so I had to go just because I was curious enough to see how much of a dog shit it was.
Oh, dude, that is. I'm sorry. I mean, like, are you okay?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with my, my preferred taste in movies. I was just a sadist at that point on myself. I'm just like, this has to be so fucking bad, and oh my god, it was.
You, sir, are a glutton for punishment.
If you want to see what Mike thought of Gods of Egypt, you could go check out Mike's YouTube channel at youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. You like that plug, Mike? And he will tell you how much of dog shit it is. And he can also give you his thoughts on London Has Fallen.
Lords of Suck. Fucking Gods of Egypt. Fucking bullshit.
The one thing I've heard about Gods of Egypt is it had some decent ideas. It just was never executed correctly.
You know what I heard? The good thing I heard about Gods of Egypt?
Is that it ends?
It had some people in it. They got paid, so there was like people who had jobs during its filming. That was pretty good.
I can safely say Batman v Superman will be better than Gods of Egypt. If that's not one of the rave reviews for it, I don't know what else is. Better than Gods of Egypt. Batman v Superman. 3 weeks. Check it out, kids.
You got to go to a truck stop scale to get all the dog shit weighed.
Oh my goodness. Gods of Egypt.
All right, guys, let's take a few minutes to talk about our topic, which is digital versus physical media.
What are you asking here?
Like legal digital versus physical media. Like, getting it off Voodoo and having it in a cloud, or versus, having something tangible, something that you can hold, something you can put in and you always have.
All right.
This topic, Philip has been kind of going through the struggle, so this topic was kind of geared towards him too,
And
but
he's not here to talk about it.
he is not here to discuss it. But, I kind of have the issues with digital and physical as well. The theory of having everything on a cloud is kind of cool because, you're out, you're in an airport, you can pull it up on your phone, you can watch it, you can enjoy it. But the one thing that still keeps me going to digital, and, for instance, Star Wars Episode 7 comes out in a month on Blu-ray, and it's going to have deleted scenes. I guess there's a deleted scene where you see Kylo Ren on the Millennium Falcon kind of reminiscing, something that I think the movie kind of needed to make the end scene a little bit more impactful. But, you see him on the Millennium Falcon, and, he's thinking, and I like to buy physical stuff because I like the special features. I like watching the deleted scenes. I like watching the behind-the-scenes stuff. And I like owning it because, if you have something on Vudu or iTunes or Amazon and then they decide that they want to do something else, you've just lost all that stuff as opposed to owning it. Like, I got laser discs, I've got VHS tapes, and they still work. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if the cloud of Vudu shut down and I've just lost all my stuff. So that's kind of where my predicament is. Dan, what are your thoughts on this? I know you do a lot of downloading games.
Oh, because as you see behind me, I do like physical things.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, the thing about digital is that it's easy. I mean, when you're too lazy, when you're too lazy to like get up and put something in the DVD player to watch, you can just use your game controller and pick it. But I mean, physical stuff, it actually has like some kind of worth. Digital stuff you can never like resell, and if, as Jason said, if they decide to do whatever they want with it, and you don't have it anymore, I mean, it's in your contract when you bought it. That said, I buy a lot of digital stuff on sale, but I still like the physical things with wrappers, and like I still buy like single issue comic books. They just make me happy. But yeah, I'd have to go kind of both.
Max, I know you do a lot of reading on digital, right?
I mean, like I did a lot of reading digital when I was in the military. There's not a lot of space for you to have a bunch of books, so a Kindle was pretty fucking awesome. I definitely prefer to read a physical book than a digital one. Like a comic book, even more so. I almost refuse to read them digitally just because, like, yeah, it's just there's something about looking at the whole page and taking it all in at once, and then then going through it. Like, you can't really do it with a digital. What?
What?
What are you doing?
Nothing. Keep going. Don't worry.
There's just something about about turning the page. I'm call me old fashioned. That's how I like it. But I definitely use the digital. I mean, obviously, when you're abroad or when you're oot and a boot, you gotta. I mean, digital is handy. It's not bad, but there is once the machine, once Skynet takes over, what are you gonna do then? You're gonna read a book. So
then the robots know where you are. Kindle, damn it.
So Mike?
Yeah, digital's cool until Skynet takes over. That's my official position.
Mr. McGee?
It's all just dependent on, I guess, my mindset and mood at that time, because as you can tell too, it's like I got a lot of like DVDs and VHS. I still collect VHS copies of stuff too, for Christ's sake. So, I mean, having a physical copy of something definitely has a little bit more of like a sentimental value to it, and you can appreciate a little bit more of that. I don't know, I guess more classic quality of the product when it's an older technology. With digital, I utilize it mainly for stuff that know I'm not going to see again. Like, yeah, just renting on demand or renting a digital copy for a limited trial period, and then that's it, because I know I'm not going to watch the movie again ever. So that's advantageous. With regards to stuff like books or comics, I prefer like a physical copy, mainly because especially with comic books and with graphic novels, I like having the physical copy there. If I were to say like want to take certain styles or to incorporate into my own artwork, to have that full page spread there, like Max was saying, to kind of use as either inspiration or reference and everything like that, rather than just being like, okay, I'm going to swipe through here, I got to enlarge this section. It's like, no, you get the full representation right there on the printed page. So definitely, it's all just a matter of, I guess, where your tastes are. I mean, for efficiency, sure, the digital stuff seems to be working fine, but I just know also as a content creator and as a person who makes a lot of videos and stuff like that, I like to dedicate more of my file space to my video projects, and having, digital downloads and having how many movies and so forth taking up space on either my external hard drive or on my laptop, I'm not really that big a fan of, because I'm much rather be like, no, I'd rather just save up more space for my actual video recordings that I'm doing, that I'm editing and putting together for the sake of a YouTube video, rather than having Troll 2 there for some reason, when I can just, yeah. So.
You should always want to have Troll 2 everywhere you go. That is a great movie.
Bad example. Let's see. When I could have, what's a really shit movie I've seen recently that
of Gods of Egypt.
Yeah. For example, if I just wanted to be like, oh, rent Gods of Egypt, I'd rather just rent it as like a quick iTunes purchase, see it, and have it be out of my life in 24 hours. Than be like, this thing's in my cloud forever.
That is a very valid point. It does allow more shit TV and movie watching, because it's not like something you have to keep on looking at. Like, oh god, how terrible is that?
But yeah, I think that physical copies, especially of stuff like, I know, here's another example, like, and we'll get back to this at some point, Max, but I know Daredevil is at my disposal at any time on Netflix. But you know what would be cool? If I could have my Season 1 Blu-ray. For God's sakes, where the hell is my Season 1 Blu-ray, Netflix or Marvel?
Oh my goodness, yeah, I want a Blu-ray so bad. Like, that would, yeah, I want all the behind-the-scenes footage. I think they should Big Brother the Daredevil sets and all the Netflix Marvel shows, and just you're on camera 24/7, and then they put all that crap on them.
I'm looking that up right now. Daredevil Season 1 Blu-ray, because I know they just released Kimmy Schmidt on Blu-ray, so it's got to be around the corner.
Kimmy Schmidt.
It's probably not coming out. Hopefully soon, because Season 2 is landing in like a couple of weeks. But yeah, I haven't heard anything.
So Daredevil's 2 weeks away?
Yeah, 2 weeks from Friday.
And Batman's 3 weeks away?
Yes.
Oh, God.
We live in a great world. It really is a great world. Like, I was sitting there, and for a few minutes, I'm like, I don't know if I can do a binge, because I thought it was next week that Daredevil. And like, I don't know if I can devote 2 weekends in a row to just sitting on my couch binging, and then I found out I got 2 weeks. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this is not a problem. This is awesome. Like, it is so cool. I wish every channel would follow suit. I think all shows should be bingeable, because if you think about it, you're gonna get the viewers. So why not just let them consume one show all at once, kind of like Netflix, and then 2 weeks later you release another show? Like, if Netflix took their programming to a network, they could probably fill 5 days worth of programming with their original stuff. They just choose to do it differently, and I wish more places would follow suit. I really wish HBO, because they're the ones kind of moving towards the streaming thing as well, would maybe follow suit.
You bring up a good point too that ties into your physical versus digital discussion as well. It's like, you guys remember the days when we had to record shows onto tape, and if we missed it the first time or even missed the second of it, it would be forever until we got a chance to do it again. Nowadays, it's just like, hey, you missed one episode of a show, guess what? It'll be streaming the next day on the main site, or you could download it off iTunes.
Right.
We got a comment. New Trick Podcast writes, "Digital music brings up an ethical dilemma because I'm a musician and it has effectively killed good music." That is
Yeah.
true. First off, thank you so much for the comment. Please keep them coming. And it is so true because I was just having this conversation with my wife. To be like a big pop star or musician, they only have to make like one good song now. So like the art of a good album has completely died, and I'm so disappointed because I used to love to go to the music store and buy full albums, but everybody's putting so much time and energy into like the one single. You know, and Mike, you're a musician as well. You want to talk about this?
What the fuck is a music store?
Is it online? Do you just download?
Well,
It's
yeah,
called-
you mean iTunes?
They used to have this place called Empire Records. It was a really cool place to work. You could get a bunch of CDs and cassettes.
A what?
Cassettes. Audio cassettes. They had little magnetic tape in it. You would wind it up with a pencil. It'd be great. Anyways.
And vinyl.
And vinyl. Holy shit, vinyl, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, vinyl's coming back a little bit here and there. No one's going to know what to do with them, but they're coming back. Anyway.
Put them on the wall. I don't know.
Anyways, as a musician, I will say, I mean, with regards to my own like music process, that hasn't gone digital because I like to do all my own like home recording with actual instruments, with my actual voice, not auto-tuned up to hell or anything like that. But when it comes to like distribution, it has gone easier, but at the same time, there are certain drawbacks such as not being able to reap the benefits of someone purchasing a full album when they just want one song and so forth. That is kind of a bite in the ass. But I mean, that's the way kind of things are shifting now, unfortunately. I mean, I just hope there's still a lot of tried and true people who will go out and get a physical copy of a full album or just download a full album at that point.
It just sucks because we're never going to get the concept albums anymore, like the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper, or
You can
Pet
still get
Sounds
those.
by the Beach Boys. You know what I mean, though? Pink Floyd, it's just,
Guys,
you got to really look for it when you're looking for music. It's not mainstream like it used to be. Dan?
oh, okay, not mainstream, yeah, but like Dream Theater just made was it a 2-disc like concept album that I've been dying to listen to, but I haven't gotten a copy yet. So it's still there. You just have to go find it.
It's not stifling anyone creatively. It's just when it comes to distribution, it can kind of suck. That's all. Yeah.
Well, I think we might finally be on the actually creative upswing again. I think a lot of like actual musicians are getting a little. I think it's starting to come back around to where we're getting a little tired of the heavily. I mean, like that's what you're saying. Like vinyl's kind of coming back because of this sound. That's the only reason. Yeah, it's kind of limited, but that's to be expected because it's a really bad way to record. As far as storage is concerned, it's pretty fucking terrible. But
it's got that nice mid-range, Max.
But the actual sound of it is better and different, and people are recognizing that. So, even in the like, you're meant to listen to this way on this medium. They're doing that sort of thing, and I think you're finding a lot more of that stuff. So, I mean, yeah, again, you do have to look for it, but also, I mean, it is there. So, I mean, it's not all bad.
And plus, you miss out on a couple of like Dan was kind of referencing a couple of like hidden gems if you just go old school. Like speaking probably on behalf of me and Dan, we have a bunch of like fun movies or things that we've witnessed thanks so much more to traditional media than anything else. Like I've got a couple of video cassettes here that I like to put in for nostalgia's sake that I know I can't get anywhere else. I know the streaming services don't have available to them. So,
I mean, years ago I used to go to the video store.
The what?
Yeah, see, and you pick out something like Balls Crazy because you saw this weird ass cover. You're like, yeah, I'd like to see flesh-eating monsters from Mars. That sounds like a great film. But yeah, and as far as music goes, I just thought like new music sucks because I was old. But maybe the write-in guy has a point.
Yeah, Mike was saying about the VHS tape. There's something about putting in an old Nightmare on Elm Street VHS and watching the commercial for the Freddy 989, the 1-900 number. You don't get that on DVD. It's nostalgic.
Dude.
It's fun.
The old Batman 1989 Batman video cassette has that Warner Brothers catalog cartoon with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck at the front of it. I'm like,
the Police Academy movies.
And it's got the Coke commercial, doesn't it?
yes, Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah.
Yes, Diet Coke.
You don't get that shit with your streaming stuff.
Sure, you can
Like,
watch
they
it on
could-
YouTube now.
They could
Oh.
they could easily just release all that content to the special features content. It's not even like it's just little clips of bloopers and shit. I mean, like,
Yeah, but you got to admit there's a fun quality about not being able to skip over it automatically.
Also, horror movies, I think, were better on VHS because they've got that slightly grainy, kind of blurry quality that you don't get on DVD.
and so I mean, and that's cool too. I think that now now that we've gone digital, like we know digital can do anything. Like we've explored the limits of digital and we've seen pretty much everything we can do. Obviously the picture's gonna get better and better, blah blah blah. But like that, or you can even put a filter on the digital stuff. It's like I want it to look like it came off a VHS tape, and it can do that. Or he's like, but again, like
It's not the same.
with the records, it'd be really cool if people just made something specific for the medium. They're like, all right, you need to watch this on a VHS tape to fully get it.
The Ring.
Yeah, that would have
What are
been
you
cool.
supposed to do with your digital copy of The Ring? I mean, you
Yeah.
can't make a copy of it. It already says it's illegal.
I mean, they still do those like retroactive like VHS releases of things. Like I know a couple years ago, Troma did a retroactive re-release of the Toxic Avenger on VHS, and I think there was what was it? Don't Go in the Basement. Right, I think at one of the Barnes and Nobles nearby me, there's like this huge big box release of Don't Go in the Basement or something like that they put up. It's like it's like $100 for that thing. I'm like, Jesus.
Well, the conversation continues over there on Twitter. I replied to the guy saying, thanks for the comment. It brought up interesting conversation. And his reply was, I noticed that. The dude really just dropped Dream Theater. I think you just made this guy's day, Dan.
I fucking love Dream Theater. What? And so does this guy. So good job, guy.
Is it a guy from Dream Theater?
It is
John Petrucci's like, yay!
it's New Trick Podcast, at New Trick Podcast on Twitter. So follow him, check him out. But that's why we started doing this. We like having interaction with other people. So yeah, keep the tweets coming in. It's fun. And you gave us another 15 minutes of stuff to talk about. So, and it's pretty interesting conversation too, because yeah, it's just, things are just so different now. Like I miss the feeling of walking into a Blockbuster or
A what?
a mom and pop shop, especially when they had the 5 movies for 5 days for $5, and you could spend hours in there just looking at movies. And it's not like going into a used store today. I mean, you were going into a video store and they had obscure titles that you can't find in like used stores. It's not the same thing because they're not selling them. They're there for you to get every day that you walk in there. So you're going through all these films that it's just the experience is so different now. And looking for stuff on Netflix, you could get lost for hours. It's not like walking into a video store. And I really miss that. I had this weird thing where I'm like, man, my kids are never going to experience that. It's just made me sad.
Well, and what you mentioned too about kind of the homogenization of a lot of that physical media now in like bigger chains, where basically like if you go into a Walmart or something like that, you might not be able to find the album you want because it's like, oh, it's too risque for Walmart or something. It's
Why
just
would you
like-
buy albums at Walmart anyway? They like censor the crap out of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking. It's that everything is just so clean cut now. Whereas if it was just, like you said, a mom and pop type store, there was this place on the Lower East Side where they sold everything: DVDs, VHSs, vinyl, CDs. like a couple of laser discs too, but it was a lot of obscure stuff, and they had it like specifically like catered to different genres of any kind. Like there was a purely blaxploitation wall of stuff, so you'd have like you'd have like Superfly next to
Petey Wheatstraw.
Slaughter or something like that. Yeah, exactly. And it'd be like an old like VHS copy of it too, and
Mike,
it would be pricey, but
you can't have a creepy adult back room in a Walmart, man. Like there's no the creepos can't be brought to a place where there's going to be children walking around.
Oh, Max, we haven't gotten to the creepy back room yet. This is like the second room of the store. Still in plain view with like big windows.
Oh yeah, he was just saying like things get a little too whitewashed. I was like, yeah, but like you don't want.
Dude, Dolomite is totally for kids. Come on.
Because it teaches them that there's at least one nice white guy in the whole cast.
Well, today's podcast is running long. Dan, I know this kind of sprung on you in the last minute since Philip was sick, but do you know any video game news by any chance? Just throw you on the spot.
Far Cry Primal came out, and people don't seem to like it as much as they thought they would. That's all I got. Oh, new Street Fighter.
Yeah, how is that? Since it's not on the Xbox, and I'm very upset by that.
I have no idea. I don't have a PS4.
Awesome. Max, comic book news. You got anything?
Yeah, right.
All right, there's our comic book news.
I actually was going to look for comic book news today, and I ended up working really hard, so unfortunately I didn't have any time to be lazy and look for comic book news.
Nice. But yeah, we are the Three Geeks Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Three Geeks Podcast. Check us out on Facebook at Three Geeks Podcast. On YouTube at Three Geeks Podcast. iTunes, Stitcher, everything. Definitely check it out. I highly recommend going to Mike's YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. Everybody from the Three Geeks Network pops up over there from time to time. We do a lot of collaborations. It's a lot of fun. You can also check out Mike on neverendingradicaldude.com. He does a lot of reviews, written reviews, and art on that page. So I highly recommend it. Again, we love interacting with other people, nerds, geeks like us. So please hit us up on Twitter. We're monitoring that thing literally 24/7, and it is nice how quickly our Twitter has grown. We've grown, I think, 1,000 followers in the last 2 months, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, we've been putting a lot of time and energy over there. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great evening.